Welcome into Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. Oh, some little technical difficulties at the station
Usually, can you
today.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. We don't know. We were just making sure everything's working in here.
Well, yeah, trying to do that. It's always something. Happy Monday. Happy June. Happy Parental Rights Month, Shaun.
Happy Pride Month, Lindsay.
I have
It's
all the
raining men up in here right now.
I have all the pride in the world for my parental rights. Do you know that?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you in the headset. So, it is June and it is Parental Rights Month. Moms for Liberty will be celebrating parental rights all month long, and we even got a special invitation. Shaun, you want to tell them what we're going to be doing next week?
Oh no, Lindsay. I think I'll let you do that.
We are going to the White House. We were invited to the White House to celebrate parental rights.
Pride Month.
No,
with President Trump.
To celebrate parental rights with President Donald J. Trump, MAGA.
Yeah, it's it's a great Pride Month celebration at the White House that Lindsay invited me to attend with her. And is it going to be huge? That's kind of fitting for Pride Month if you think about it.
Shaun, I am not playing along with those jokes at all.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure it will be huge, and I'm sure it will be a great celebration of parental rights. And we are so grateful to have a seat at the table in an administration who realizes that our parental rights have been trampled on in the last several years under the last administration. Your people, Shaun?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, look, anyway, all kidding aside, Lindsay told me about this on Saturday, and I guess with her Moms for Liberty group,
I got an email Friday night, late Friday night.
Yeah, and kind of confirmed to do it on Saturday. And we had to kind of rush the background stuff and everything, right? So we sent all that in, and then I got our plane ticket. So we're headed a week from Thursday, and maybe this time I actually get to meet the president instead of last time I went with you, and I got kind of screwed over on that deal.
Yeah, thanks to some people that we'll leave unnamed. Yeah, so that it should be great. Shaun's going to be a 1,000,000% MAGA Trump fan when we come back.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, anyway, I thought about it.
Look, here we go. I got you a hat, Shaun.
Got me a hat, right? Okay, there you go. That black one's kind of cool, actually. Anyway, so yes, I just kind of looked at it like we were kind of like the way Bill Maher said, and that we'd go there despite if when you get an invitation to the White House, you got to take it, right, Lindsay? That seems to be the thing.
I think you should. I think, how many times will you actually get an invitation to the White House? I've gotten several other opportunities to go, and it hasn't been able to work out because, as you know, with the White House, they have to change things at the last minute, and then they don't, they can't tell you exactly what his schedule is going to be, obviously for security reasons. And so I said, I better take one of these opportunities before I don't have any more opportunities.
Right. And we apologize for everybody, all the mix-ups. It's the earphones had a short on Friday, and now they're not working today, and the schedule's down. So we're all we sound like a bunch of morons right now. I know we do, and I apologize.
But
we're
not. But we're not.
But we do. But no. And it just I don't even know what we were talking about. That we were going to the White House. Something about Pride Month. Was that what it was?
Yeah, Parental Rights Month.
Okay. Anyway,
we're celebrating Parental Rights Month.
We are going to the White House, and that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully, I think it's an honor to get invited to who occupies the White House, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. And I hate when people turn down White House invitations. I think that's so stupid. But all right,
maybe you will leave the White House with the same kind of enthusiasm that Bill Maher did. I mean, he said it was great.
Well, yeah, it seemed like he and President Trump got along. I don't even know that we're actually going to get to meet him though. So that would be the other issue of that, but we'll see, y'all, and we will definitely give you the rundown that following Monday when we get back and find out what's going on. Well, but locally is what we're here to talk about today, Lindsay, is about we've got a Jackson mayor's race tomorrow that y'all know about, and which it's we've got, it looks to be two main front runners, one being Rodney DePriest and John Horhn, and then there is another independent candidate, Zach Servis, who's made quite a dark horse campaign out there and kind of pushed, kind of got his name out there through social media and kind of hustled around and worked pretty hard. So kind of what we're looking at here, Lindsay, is the race, and there's three of them. They're kind of the main candidates, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely. I think there's another independent, but I don't think anybody knows who she is. And
Yeah, I saw it. I was watching the news this morning, and they were saying it was some such as I can't even remember her name, and I just saw it. That's how
yeah.
bad this is. I mean, the ones I know again are obviously Senator John Horhn, who's the heavy favorite to win. Then Rodney DePriest, who's kind of just had a surprising fundraising haul last week or 2 weeks ago when they released reports around.
Well, I mean, I've been
89,000.
saying for a long time that I thought he stood a good chance. Remember,
Yeah.
Shaun?
Yeah, and so I mean and then Zach Servis, who's been out there on social media pushing that, and but I think, and I'll get into that and kind of analysis of what I think about those certain campaign strategies that they'll have had later. But that's what we got tomorrow. So
And don't forget Kenny G.
And we also had WYAB's own Kim Wade in a surprise social media appearance, which is not his forte, I would say. He's more the radio strongman than the Facebook strongman. Went out there and made a statement endorsing Mr. DePriest, but his endorsement was kind of inflammatory, I think. It caused a little bit of stir amongst different camps and listeners of his. He was saying the things that he disagreed with about and why he wasn't endorsing Zach Servis. That's what I took from that endorsement he put out there. So he angered some people on that, like Kim likes to do. That's his
Zach
specialty.
Servis fans were not happy last night.
No, they were not. They were very angry about it. He made mention and he said some things like about you need to have some wisdom and age on you to run a city,
which makes sense, and some experience in maybe even, I even think experience in government is probably a better resume on your resume to take over a city like Jackson that has just been trashed with this last administration. You need someone that's got some good experience and that can jump in there and who has made some really good connections. And I think that we have some candidates that have done that.
Yeah. There's a statement I want to read. So the radio strongman made a statement in his statement that I thought was really profound, and I didn't expect from him. He said, "You can't proceed with the attitude that anyone that doesn't agree with you or your plans are your enemy," which I was like, "Dan, that's the smartest thing I've heard Kim Wade say." And that's kind of a basis of this show.
I've heard you say lots of smart stuff, Kim.
But anyway,
don't listen to him.
But he was referencing, I think, Mr. Servis and some of his actions. I'm guessing that's what I took from that. He says things here that Zach lacks the nuance to realize that having the right answer is not the same as having the right approach to achieve the outcomes that you want. So he went through a list of that. I guess he had thought about endorsing Zach Servis before, but then he decided that Rodney DePriest for the reasons he stated. So I encourage y'all to look at Kim Wade's statement and the reasons why he's doing that. It caused some stir with some people. We had to block some folks this morning. They were acting like abject lunatics. When I woke up this morning, I was like, well, this person is absolutely crazy. So they've been blocked.
Our phones were blowing up last night, and there were a lot of people who feel very strongly.
Yeah, a lot of angry people. Yeah. And really the funny thing about Lindsey, what I was reading when I just shared Kim's post, and I've been negative about any of these guys. I'm like, honestly, I'm okay whichever of the three wins. There are just issues with each candidate, like there are with anybody, I would think. John Horhn has a reputation in the past of being, I guess I don't know, lack of a better term, maybe not hard to deal with. I heard people say that he'll listen, but he can be tough, I guess I would say. Like he had, of course, that DUI incident is widely reported and the way he behaved with the officer. I don't want to get into that because I hate that kind of stuff.
He is a Democrat.
Yeah, there is that stuff, that he's been in the legislature for 30 years and questions are, what does he exactly accomplish? So those questions out there with him. Mr. DePriest, he sounds like a great guy. We interviewed him on Friday, but he also didn't have any defined plans that he was talking about. That's been a criticism of his.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Well, I think I liked listening to him and I agree with him on the youth stuff, but he didn't really list what he was going to do with the police department, what he was going to do with infrastructure. So I think are valid criticisms on that. And Mr. Servis is got, I've said this about him. I think he's hustled like no other, worked hard, but he's only 27. And, when you're 27, you don't have a whole lot of life experience. And that's, I think that's kind of negative towards him. So they've all got their issues. But the one thing I think that they all have in common is they do care about Jackson. They're going to do better than Chokwe Lumumba. So that's kind of the choices we're faced of just who you want to go with tomorrow, whether it's two people that are, more experienced and older, or you want young blood in this race or as mayor. And that's kind of just a decision you're personally going to have to make, I think.
Yes. And obviously, that I don't get a vote. I don't live in Jackson. Right. So this is not my race. If I did live in Jackson, I would fully support Rodney DePriest. Mm-hmm. I think that when we had him here on Friday, he came across as being extremely genuine, very caring, and really wanting the best for Jackson, and really wanting people to be able to come together. And that's kind of the whole premise of our radio show is you two people from opposite ends of the spectrum who are able to come together on issues because it's for the greater good. And I think that's kind of what he has been focusing on. And I think that he has gained and garnered a lot of support in the Black community. And everyone says, can a white man win this election? And probably not. But I think he's the closest to standing a chance as anyone ever could be.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We're going to go to early break to get some technical issues that we've got here figured out, and we will be right back to you.
Yeah, y'all stay with us. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
I'm Shaun Yurtkaran, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work.
Money should never stand between you and your dreams.
So if there's a will, there's a way. I'm Corey Ravenstein.
And I'm John Ravenstein. You're going to love this. Right now at Juniker Jewelry Company, enjoy 3 years interest-free financing. You heard me right. That's 3 years, 36 months interest-free financing for qualified buyers.
Buy those gorgeous $10,000 diamond stud earrings she's always wanted from Juniker's and pay just $277 per month.
Buy a $5,000 natural diamond engagement ring for just $138 per month.
Buy that $3,000 diamond tennis bracelet for just $84 a month.
Whatever you want at Juniker Jewelry Company, just divide the number by 36, and that's your monthly payment.
Now you can give her the diamond she's always dreamed of.
Because right now, through the end of June, get 3 years, 36 months, interest-free.
Juniker Jewelry Company, Mississippi's direct diamond importer. 1485 Highland Colony Parkway, just south of 463 in Madison, and junikerjewelry.com.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland?
I'm on a diet. I don't want to be down there at Tom's Fried Pies. We had a good time. When I tell you the crust was flaky, I'm talking about buttery. This was nothing like I've ever tasted. Ever. I mean, I've never tasted anything like that, man. It was nice. Atmosphere was nice. Everybody there was nice. Because I'll be back, even though I don't supposed to with my diet. I really enjoyed myself.
Tom'sFriedPies.com. Tom'sFriedPies.com.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel in Flora and Ridgeland. 601-992-6000.
We all love the farm-to-table food concept, right? Well, at Burnt Corn Farm, they bring you locally grown flowers straight from the farm to the vase. With a wide selection of flowers and excellent service, Burnt Corn Farm will make your next party or shower a southern delight. Sign up for a monthly bouquet subscription, and their farm-fresh flowers will brighten your days all season long. You can also book your next family photo session in their wildflower field. That's Burnt Corn Farm on Facebook and Instagram.
Come together.
Welcome back into Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. I think we are a little bit more together now.
Yeah,
right?
we
Can you hear me?
apologize for that first segment. It was not good. So
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, there was and we were having some, just different issues that
Well,
that
there was a wreck
transpired.
in front of my house, and I couldn't get
Yeah.
here. I was running in at the last minute, and then none of the connectors for the headsets would work. So it's just, it was a little messy.
Just kind of like this election, Lindsay.
Yeah,
Messy. It's very
a lot
messy.
like this election.
And what we're getting into is tomorrow's election, obviously, in the city of Jackson, and we've got three main candidates. I would say Senator John Horhn, as well as Rodney DePriest and Zach Servis, are kind of the I guess you call it the front runners. I mean, I think John Horhn is the overwhelmingly heavy favorite to win the race, with DePriest being second, is kind of, and then Zach Servis coming in third. There, it's kind of the order I'd give you there. So, and then yesterday we had radio strongman Kim Wade made a Facebook announcement that he was, supporting DePriest. He made that announcement a couple weeks ago, but he kind of put it out there, the reasons why he's doing that and why he's going with Rodney DePriest. So
And I always think that it's just better as a candidate to run on your record or what you plan to do.
Mhm.
Like, I think when you start the mudslinging and saying things about other candidates, or if you don't like their answer to something, and then that's what you want to focus on, I think that just looks bad on you. It takes the look off of what you would do for the city, what your record says, and what you're going to do to make things better. Like, focus on that, and I think that gets you much further with the public than anything else does.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about that this morning. If Chokwe Lumumba were still in the race, I'd be all for the mudslinging. I'm not gonna lie. I would be do whatever is necessary. Like that would be my position, because he has to be taken down. I know that sounds like completely different than what I really believe in terms of mudslinging, because I don't like it. But when you have that kind of situation when the city was about to be destroyed, I was down for whatever. Now I think we're in a different situation. We're in a situation where we got three candidates who I think care about the city. I think all three of them do a good job. And I don't think it's not like, oh my God, if Rodney DePriest gets elected, I'm going to cry, or John Horhn gets elected, I'm going to cry, or Zach
You got a
Servis.
phone call coming in.
I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm going to be fine with whichever way it goes.
Hey, you're on the air.
I am? You sure?
Yep, you are, Kingfish. Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
yeah,
what's
you're
going-
right. That first segment did kind of suck.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had a lot of technical problems.
Sometimes you can't help it when you walk in here.
It
It's
wasn't
a
a major
mess.
suckage, just a minor suckage.
Yeah, it was tough.
Can I get away with saying that? Will Matt get mad?
No, you can say that.
Just don't say the other things that you say frequently. So,
That's a little
Kingfish.
podcast. I can just let loose sometimes.
Yeah, Kingfish, I have a question for you. So, no, it's for real. So, you know how we had talked about when the campaign finance reports come out, and you see kind of like how the money, has DePriest been able to raise any money that will really kind of tell you if he stands a chance or not. And so I was talking to Shaun about this last night. We've got some people attacking him because he has raised money.
Talking to who?
Attacking DePriest because he has.
You said you were talking to who last night?
Shaun.
You was muddled.
Shaun and I were talking last night.
Yeah, you're talking fast.
Okay, go on.
Sorry, I get excited and I talk fast. So we were talking last night, and there's some people who are saying it's a bad thing that DePriest has been able to raise this money, and they don't trust him because now he's going to owe people something. But it takes money to run a campaign. It takes money to win a campaign. So it's kind of like he's being attacked.
People who are looking to trash him anyway. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like he's going to be attacked either way, whether he raised the money or not.
Well, I mean, show me a guy who wins with no money whatsoever. Okay. I mean,
yeah,
never happens.
Campaign. Show me.
Yeah. I mean, money just, it doesn't always, it doesn't mean you always have to raise the most money. I mean, Kamala Harris raised a lot more than Donald Trump did, and look what happened there. But Donald Trump still raised a lot of money. So,
I mean, Marshawn Chrysler outraised Harvey Johnson, 2-1, 3-1?
Back in 2009. Yeah. So, I mean, you don't have
Tyron Lewis and Victor Mason. Oh my gosh, that was a mismatch.
Right. I mean, you don't have to raise the most money, but you have to raise money.
But if you have morals, it doesn't necessarily mean that just because you took the money means you have to answer to these people. I mean, this isn't Delbert. We know what he does, but it's just because
they've got a saying among politicians: if you can't take the steak dinner or the donations from a lobbyist and say, or a donor, and say no, then you shouldn't be you shouldn't be in the business. And that's one. That's one lesson every politician learns if they have any brains pretty quick, is you have to learn to say no, period. Because if you don't, your donors, and others, I mean, they will get you in trouble every time if you don't say no.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, for sure. But yeah, I think that what she's saying, that there are people are making implications that how did DePriest raise all this money? Well, how did Horn raise $350,000? I mean, it's this
Exactly.
politics. This is just politics, and I think it's
I mean, if they're saying that about DePriest, I mean, they were just looking for an excuse to pick on him anyway. I mean, that's because they have any brains whatsoever. They know you have to raise money to run for mayor. You're not going to win mayor with unless you're some gazillionaire who's spending your own, like Jim Barksdale, spending your own money or something. I mean, it doesn't happen. Now, it might happen next year in the governor's race, or in a couple of years in the governor's race, but not right now.
Yeah, I think it's always just the grassroots candidates, because most of those people are really true believers. Hey, look, more power to them. I don't have any problem with that. But I think they get more emotional than other people do. I would say, like, they get more emotional about their candidates than maybe you or I would. And
yeah, I mean, so but it is what it is. That it's normal.
Yep, it's normal. So Kingfish, considering all that, how are you calling this thing tomorrow?
60 to 65 for Horn tomorrow.
Okay, what do you put DePriest at? What number?
25, 30.
25, 30. And what about Zach?
Maybe 3%, 4%.
3 to 4% is what you're saying with Zach. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, your numbers are close to mine. I mean, I'm thinking Horn gets a little less than 65%. I'm putting DePriest around 30, as Zach topping out at 7 the most.
I mean, honestly, when you look at the reports for the primary, I mean, yes, he's raised $350,000, but about $200,000 was spent on primary and runoff. Okay, so actually, as of last week, when they turned in their reports, DePriest and Horn for this period were actually pretty even in their fundraising. I mean, they were in this. I mean, DePriest was in the ballpark. Okay, I mean, so Horn raised some more, but not that much more. For the general election. So DePriest has done this job. He's raised some. I've always said you need to be competitive. You need to raise at least 80 to 100,000 in a Jackson mayor's race. I mean, 40,000 just isn't going to do it. Okay, period. Never does. Never has. Yeah. Anyway, so he's got that. So
he's for real.
He's making a real race of it. Okay, John Horn's having to get out there and work for his votes. He's having to go advertise. He's having to run his game. And when you talk to the Horn people, they're focused on tomorrow. They're not talking about who gets what job. It's all about tomorrow.
Okay,
that can come after they win, if they win.
What do you think about the rumors, scuttlebutt in the community about DePriest making inroads into the Black community? How do you feel about that? I know that's happened in other cities like Baton Rouge. I believe Memphis.
I've heard it. Well, Baton Rouge had similar dynamics to Chalkway. I mean, so that was the problem. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I hear it from Blacks. I do. And that's why I'm picking, I'm picking him like at 25 to 30%. I mean, I'm counting on him getting Black vote, because I think Horn's going to get, a decent amount of white vote. I mean, like the Jeff Good types, they're all going to vote for Horn.
Right.
And there's going to be whites who think, well, you know what? It's majority Black city. He's going to win anyway. I'm voting for him. And he's someone I've seen him operate for years in legislature. I can handle him. I can, he doesn't give me heartburn.
Yeah.
So,
so you could say
that's what I think.
Yeah. I think it's going to turn out a lot closer than what people initially thought. I think in the beginning, nobody thought DePriest would stand a chance. But I think he's shown that he has, he's got some people who do support him.
Well, but the difference between here and Baton Rouge is there you had a 2-term incumbent who was a failed mayor and had the same dynamics in play that Chalkway had in his race. So everybody was ready to vote against her. And same thing with Chalkway, but Chalkway's gone in this election, so you don't have that same dynamic playing out, that same motivation. Kind of like McDaniel. He was capitalizing off Republican anger at getting their butts kicked by Obama all the time. Okay. And Cochran wasn't. And so he was really able to parlay that into nearly beating him. But then after that, when Trump won, all that anger went away. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, I mean, so McDaniel hasn't been able to really capitalize on that because, they're not mad anymore.
Yeah. I think also, Lindsey and I were talking about this other night. I think, John Horhn is kind of the Joe Biden of this race. And what I mean by that, like Joe Biden in the Democratic primary, nobody was thrilled about Joe Biden, but he was the safe guy that could win. Like, that's why he was picked. Like Bernie is not the safe guy, but Bernie has got a beloved, like his following. The people that like Bernie love him. Nobody really liked Joe Biden, the Democrats.
And the problem is the people that really love Bernie scare the hell out of everybody else.
That's the problem. Well, that's exactly right. That's the problem. So that Joe Biden was seen as a safe, alternative. He can win. He's a name, I think Horhn benefited from that in this race within the original primary, because I think he was the kind of the safe
guy. Also been a known quantity. I mean, a lot of legislators, white Republicans, they like Horhn. Okay, I mean, they've known him for years. I mean, I've talked to him for years. I mean, the thing is, when you talk to him in private, he sees the same problems you see.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll say things that you might think it's me talking for about 30 seconds there. Okay. I mean, but then you can't say certain things out loud in the black community. You can't say them. I mean, because it's got to be a monolith. You can't really disagree that much. And, like Chris Rock says, you can't fight in front of the white folks that much. I mean, so that's some of that, on some things like 1020, for example, he fought against that. Well, we disagree there, or we disagree on what the future of Jackson's water should be, the airport. I mean, so position wise, he's not that different than the rest of the black community. However, I can say this. He has been really ticked off at how poorly the city's been run the last several years. I mean, it's really ticked him off. There's a righteous anger here.
What is that analogy you used last night when we were talking to John Henry about what they told you in the Marines?
Oh, I said, when we were recruits in boot camp, they called us, we were lower than whale dump. And once we became Marines, they said, now you are whale dump.
So that's what we get. At least it's one step up.
We're trying to get to where we're lower than whale dump right now. We're trying to get to whale dump. That's an improvement. I think that was my point there. And I think, Kingfish, I think you're
the city council. Go ahead.
I think another thing about John Horhn, if he wins, but I think that's the most likely outcome here. I think he's going to be a partner with the state that we haven't had before. I mean, he obviously doesn't agree with everything Republicans do, and I get that. But I think he has those relationships. He can at least be.
No, but he knows not to come in the door and immediately start insulting them. Okay,
right. That's what I mean. And that's not something that we've experienced. I remember Nick Bain had been on here talking about how Chokwe what time did he not show up to? Is that what he was saying?
Yeah, he had to subpoena him to make him show up.
Remember, Chokwe and his crowd, Omari and them, and Ticket were chewing out the state legislators for daring to ask for the state to jump in and take up and help with the water when the water failed that day, August 29th. Remember, he was chewing them all out. And so was Omari and all them for doing that. I mean, they didn't want any help from the state. You understand?
Yeah, that's
none.
Mm-hmm. I think that's.
We didn't have water. You understand? They still didn't want help from this. They were still mad as hell about asking for help from the state. Right. And they sat there and chewed out Horn and Blunt and some others. And you know what I would have told them if they'd have done that to me. I mean, so. And
you're not going to have that with the Horn administration. I think that's all gone. That would not happen.
No, he knows how the system works, and I think it's kind of like what Toby Barker is down in Hattiesburg, where she was a former representative. He knows how to work the legislature. He knows how to talk to them and work with them. In fact, he doesn't even have a lobbyist. He does it himself, actually, which obviously you can't do in Jackson.
Right.
But still, I think Horn is going to be a lot more comfortable. He knows not to go up there and bring a damn posse like Yarber and like Lumumba would do. I mean, Lumumba was really bad. I mean, he did the Muhammad Ali, Don King thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just bring a mob up there with him. And what he didn't realize was everybody, including the Black Caucus, was laughing at him behind his back, making fun of him about it. I mean, they were like, who do you think you are?
Hey, Kingfish, you want to hang on with us?
Hilarious.
You want to hang on with us for another segment? I'm going to talk about this Ward 7 race.
Go ahead.
All right. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here. We have got Kingfish on the line, and we are breaking down tomorrow's election. We will be right back. On tomorrow's election. We will be right back.
.039 WYAB.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym, 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
CBS News Brief. The man accused of using a makeshift flamethrower to attack a crowd in Boulder, Colorado, has been charged with a federal hate crime. Reporter Ashley Portillo.
The suspect is in custody. He is 45-year-old Mohammed Solomon, allegedly yelling "Free Palestine."
He allegedly told police he planned the attack for a year. The group he targeted was bringing attention to hostages in Gaza. China's now blasted the U.S. for new trade controls and threatened retaliation. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
That doesn't sound like a country that's willing to take a call from President Trump, despite what the White House was saying on Sunday, that there's going to be a call soon.
Talks between Ukraine and Russia wrapped up today on ending their war. President Zelensky said if no progress comes out of it, new sanctions should be imposed on Moscow.
There must be a new level of pressure, new sanctions.
The Ukrainians say the Russians laid out the Kremlin's terms for ending the war. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
When you want your pine trees to grow a little happier and a lot healthier, call on Holcomb Aerial Service. When your crops need dusting, think Holcomb Aerial Service. From the farm to your own pine forest, Holcomb Aerial Service will stimulate growth, eradicate pests, and preserve the value of your crops. Call Holcomb Aerial Service at 601-668-6200. That's 601-668-6200.
Hello, WYAB listeners. My name is Rob Montgomery. I'm a minister in the Church of God, and I'm honored to be the regional overseer for the Church of God of Louisiana and Mississippi. I invite you to listen to my program, Arise Shine, on Sunday mornings, where I'll share the Lord's thoughts to my heart for you. Arise Shine will include Bible messages, encouraging thoughts, and a biblical view of current events. It's my hope that you'll be blessed.
Tune in to Arise Shine, Sunday mornings, 10:30 to 11.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
Come together right now over me.
Welcome back into Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. I just wanted to say, one more thing. I think it's been a little contentious between Zach Servis and Rodney DePriest, their supporters. And there's been this narrative that, DePriest he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And Zach's got this very, very detailed plan. And while I understand what what some people are saying, that some of the Zach Servis followers or fans are saying, I also have seen Rodney DePriest's plan, and while it's not nearly as detailed, it is a plan, and it is things that we need to be working on. And I just feel that whoever is elected, this needs to be a time of healing because of what the last administration has done, and we need to do that. We need to be focusing on healing and how to make the city a better place instead of rap videos, and that's just my opinion on that. But we got Kingfish. You still there?
Still here.
Hey, Kingfish, Lindsay just wanted to give her colloquy about the Rodney DePriest and the Zach Servis camp. I want to know if the DePriest camp's really attacking them. It seems like the Servis supporters are kind of.
I haven't heard Rodney DePriest say an ugly word about anyone.
Let me point out something, okay? A lot of this so-called back and forth, this social media crap, okay?
Yeah.
And I mean, social media, they always sound a lot louder than their numbers actually are, okay?
Sure.
You know,
that's true.
Yeah, I think I was going to say that.
I kind of tuned some of that out because, they'll get their zingers in and back and forth. But then when you look at it, do they actually move the needle at the polls? No.
Well, I think that'll be interesting. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because I was talking to Lindsay about that earlier. It reminded me of, kind of Chris McDaniel in 2023, where he had a lot of loud social media supporters, but it didn't equate to the polls the way you would think.
How much do you see Basham Wicker? Let's get more recent. How many do you see Basham Wicker online?
Who?
My
Basham
gosh.
Wicker.
I mean,
the Colonel Gannon Burton
on my website.
Like Gannon Burton, if you had been following that online, a lot of people would have thought Gannon Burton stood a lot better.
They come out and just bash Wicker dick. I mean, they hate the man. I mean, even when he does something right, he could say the sky is blue. They don't care,
Yeah.
But look, he ran last time. Did anybody run against him? Not really. Did anybody raise any money against him? Not really. Did anybody get any votes against him? Not really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously some people like the job he's doing.
I mean, Gannon Burton was how much of the vote did he end up getting?
I don't recall. Not. I mean,
he had a lot of people supporting him.
It wasn't a challenge. I mean, it was a pretty easy victory, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was an easy victory. Okay.
But that's to your point that the social media stuff can make it look a lot different than it actually turns out.
Yeah,
well, I mean, Limbaugh used to say that. He used to say, "Look, it makes it seem like there's 5,000 people raising hell about you on Twitter and stuff. 50,000." He said and he started citing studies. He said it's more like 50 people doing it. 5 people doing it. I mean, so
yeah, I mean, Russ Latino came on here one time and he said something that, like, if you look at Twitter, you think Mississippi is the most liberal state in the country just by looking at Twitter. And it's just not. That's why I don't even use Twitter, because it's just not real. It's not real life. And I think social media campaigns are good. I mean, it's good to get your name out there here and there.
I mean, just look at my website. If you go look at the comments on my website, I mean, I think you think I got a bunch of, we got on my readers a bunch of knuckleheads actually, and they're just a very, very small portion of the readers.
Yeah.
They're just the loudmouths.
Wicker got 61 to Gannon Burton's 25.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, so
they're 25%. That's it.
Yeah, I think nothing changes from the old school politics.
And I would submit that anybody who ran against Wicker probably is going to get 15 to 20% just because,
Yeah, I mean, I think just it's the point that an old school ground game is what wins elections. that's what it does. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, half of it's getting out there and advertising. But Wicker, look, he learned from the McDaniel race Cochran race 10 years ago. Okay, and they have been determined ever since then not to get out of touch, not to sit there and stay away from home. Right. I mean, when he comes back, he's always touring the state, going around. His people stay plugged in. They keep up with everything going on. They are determined not to get surprised like the Cochran people were. And, it's paid off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's good. Like I said, it's going to be interesting. Now, I'll give Zach this. I think he has run a ground game. He's been out there campaigning pretty hard.
He's been out there. He's been working his butt off. I'll give him credit.
Yeah, I've said that.
I disagree with a lot of his stuff, but that's okay. I mean, I would not have put up there the salaries of all the city employees like he did because, I mean, what was it, besides embarrassing them, what was the purpose? And yes, there are, and I've done that a couple of times, but there were specific reasons for why I did it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I understand that. Well, I think that's, that's what we'll see at the end. I think we all kind of agree. Well, I think Lindsay's got a little more hopeful for Mr. DePriest, and you and I think the odds
By
are.
the way, that's like my little post about Ward 7 today.
That's what we're going to get into, Ward 7.
Yeah.
So tell us about, now this is Lindsay's area, talking about schools and principals and charter schools and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
so what's the deal with Kevin Parkinson can't run a school, basically, is what I took from this.
Basically, I mean, if you go by the record, I mean, but if he started with Teach America, Teach America is a great group, okay? Make no mistake. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Teach America people, including Kevin, for doing that, okay? Because You don't know. These are the people that go to the better schools, the Harvards, the Ivy Leagues, and all them, and they'll go teach in areas where you have teachers who just aren't that well educated, if you know what I mean. Okay. And they'll go into Delta inner cities and stuff, and you're bringing high quality teachers that you normally would not get. Okay. Anyway, so he started there, but he wound up being principal for 5 years and 7 months over at Midtown Charter School. Midtown Charter has been troubled ever since day one. If you were going to close a charter school based on performance, that's the one you would close, because it's always been an F or a D.
Yeah.
Now, while he was there, he started in 2018-19 school year, and they got either a D or an F every year. They got a rating while he was there, period.
They had, when he started, they had the percentage of the people who were proficient in reading and math.
I was about to say that. Most of the time, the reading proficiency was like around 15%, and then the math proficiency was low. Well, I forget, but it was pretty low too, like somewhere in that same neighborhood, 15.
Yeah, I think they were both 15
or so. And then after he left in midterm, during the Christmas break or whatever, then their proficiency actually rose about 8 points for that school year. So, but I had a couple of parents, since I wrote that post, tell me that whose kids are there, saying one thing they had heard from the teachers was the teachers did not like him because he constantly undermined them. In fact, these people who were telling me this are black. Okay. One of them said, it's like he was filled with white guilt, which, paying attention to him, I can believe he thinks this way. I mean,
he's one of those. What do they call those people? What do they call those people, Shaun?
What?
They feel guilty about being white, and
white guilt people. Yeah.
They overcompensate for it.
Like, because we treated blacks so bad, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the point is, when they act a fool in class, he wouldn't discipline them, or when the teachers would, he would undermine the teachers and reverse whatever they did. He'd always take the kids' side, and they got tired of it too.
I bet.
So, which that bothers me more than the F's and B's, because when you go on that city council, like I said earlier, you need to learn how to say no. And if the mayor's, you don't just go along and get along with the mayor or some other block on the city council if you know something's not a good idea.
We saw where that got us.
No.
Yeah. Kingfish, from the beginning of this, like Lindsey and I were going to the manship when we were on New Year's Eve, and I got an email, and it was an email Virgie had sent out talking about, Kevin Parkinson who'd come to her house and asked for endorsement, but she wasn't going to explicitly endorse him. But he was
why is she on the campaign finance report?
Yeah, of course. I think I took the email as she was, but then of course, the first thing I said was, who is Kevin Parkinson? I mean, I've lived in this neighborhood for quite a while, and I've just never heard of him. And so he kind of was, I feel like there was like a movement to force feed him down everybody's throat, and that was the problem I have in the beginning. That I think, because I can't see what his actual profession is. Do you know what he does right now?
No, I don't. And he hasn't really said either, has he?
He hasn't really said what his job is. I mean, and that's a thing.
We know he drives a minivan that says
I think it's telling on his website. He kind of is vague about where he was a principal, and I want to see what the improvement was.
Right.
From what I can tell, his record from 18-19 to when he left is there was no improvement.
That's why he didn't put the school name on there, because he didn't want you to go look that up.
Well, I mean, when Tony Garber ran for mayor, he didn't try to hide where he taught, did he?
No, he didn't. And didn't you say Tony took the school over?
That's who took over. That's who took over Midtown. And I'm going to tell you something. The next round of ratings and proficiencies and all that stuff that comes out, don't be surprised if they do a lot better, because he's been really hands-on there. And he, that's what he enjoys doing, is teaching.
Yeah,
but he's a superintendent of both campuses there.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like Tony. I think he's a good teacher, and I
always liked him.
So basically, what we know about Kevin Parkinson, he's a failed principal, but is that basically his only would teach for America, and we don't know any other job that he's held. And I guess my greater point, Kingfish, is this: we keep electing people that are looking for a job, and I'm getting kind of tired of that.
Problem.
Like we have people, and I know the city council takes a lot of someone's time, but I mean, I don't think it should be an employment agency either.
Yeah.
Like it's a part-time position.
All three Ward 1 candidates. I mean, all three of them I like about Grace Green and Jasmine Barnes and but I mean, they're all productive. They all have done something, I mean, they know how to do stuff. I mean, I wish I could take all two of these three candidates and put them in other wards and get them elected. You know what I'm saying? And get all three of them on the city council.
Take all the Ward 1 candidates and put them around the city, right? Except for, the other councilman I do have a lot of respect for is Vernon Hartley. But other than him, it's just been kind of I mean, it's kind of a mess. So I think Jasmine Barnes would be a great council person. I mean, Ashby, I think, has done a good job. I think Grace Green, when I heard about her, all accounts is a good person. So we just I hope Ward 7 sees this, because Ron Aldridge looks to me to be overqualified for this job. Really, when you look at it,
Mhm.
he seems to be almost like absolutely overqualified.
Tell
That's what
me
you
about
want,
it.
and that's what you want. You want somebody.
But that's kind of what one school of thought says you want on your boards and your city councils, which is people who they've got a resume. They did their stuff in their careers and stuff. Now it's like, okay, they slowed down a little bit, and okay, that they got experience and knowledge of stuff, and you want them on your city councils and stuff. I mean, there's a school of thought there, not these people who, man, I finally got me a paycheck, like Angelique Lee. I mean, she's never held a job more than 2 years, for example.
We saw how that went.
Look at Aaron Banks. I mean,
We saw how that went. It's been a.
Yeah, I mean, look at all these people. I mean, how many of them? Virgie Lindsay, I mean, I don't like her, but you know what? She worked at the Clarion Ledger as a reporter for years. She actually covered Mayor Mary the first time she was elected, and her election, seriously. But she was there. Then she worked for Jackson Public Schools as a communications director for years. I mean, she's got 30 years or so of a resume, where she was working. She was producing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting if we have, obviously we're going to get a new mayor, whoever that person is, most likely John Horhn. And then if we get somebody like Ron Aldridge on the council, and I give it to like a Jasmine Barnes, who I think seems very competent. We're going to have a whole new remake of city government here shortly, which is really exciting, in my opinion.
I just wish we still had Melvin Priester Jr. on the council. I really do.
So do I.
I mean,
I've known Melvin since high school.
That's the one that I miss being on there.
He is a very intelligent guy. He had that Ward 2 seat that Tina Clay's got now. I've heard not the best things about her. I don't know a lot about her, but I've heard some things that aren't great.
No, the problem with her is look at who her opponents were, and they were all,
yeah.
And that's the problem. I mean, is Ward 2 is where all the black professionals live for the most part, but yet you don't see hardly any of them ever running for that spot.
No, except
for
Melvin. That was, he was the. He obviously had that seat, and then Chokwe Senior had that seat as well, as we know. So that's
correct.
It's been yeah, you're right. It's been a black professional seat, kind of, I guess the way you would put it. That's the right way.
But they generally haven't seen many of them running for it, is what I'm saying. I mean, Chokwe his father didn't really have much competition either. I mean,
no, not
and Angelique, I mean, her main competition was Tyrone Lewis. I mean, and then
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but this is what you've been getting is, on the council is just people. And the supervisors, too, people who don't work, people who are just activists, loudmouths, that sort of thing. And then you wonder why they don't know how to make decisions.
Yep, that's a problem. But,
Should be interesting. Well, we got to go to our last commercial break. Thanks, Kingfish.
When y'all going to the White House?
A week from Thursday. Well, we'll be there Friday the 12th.
Boy.
Yeah, we're going
to get a private tour. I'm sure Donald Trump is going to come hold Shaun by the hand and take him through the White House himself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to ask him.
Is she going to be okay there? She's kind of rough around the edges,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'll have to give her like a crash course in White House history prior to our arrival there.
No, they like people like me there now. I was invited, Kingfish.
Well, let's just hope that Trump does. Oh, by the way, before we go, did you see what he did with the pardons of the Cincinnati mayor?
I read all about it. We're going to try to get into that tomorrow. I think that's a great topic.
Tomorrow? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Kingfish. All right. We got to take our last commercial break, but y'all stay with us. We will be right back here on WYAB 103.9. We will be right back here on WYAB 103.9.
103.9 WYAB.
Rapid Oil Change has been the fast service leader in oil changes for over 40 years. With parts to fit most makes and models in stock, it's easy to see why we are Central Mississippi's leader in fast service. We feature brands like Castrol, Mobile One, Rain-X, Lucas, and Full Throttle. We do more than just change oil, with services like wiper blades, new tires, tire repair, cabin filters, air filters, and much, much more. Open 6 days a week and ready to serve. Stop by one of our 6 fast-friendly locations today. We accept most national fleets, and local fleets are welcome.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink specials, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. And now through June 30th, get zero down, 0% APR for 84 months on select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock flatbeds, WeatherGuard toolboxes, Nap-High service bodies, ARE camper tops, deck storage solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
Come together.
We are back here on WYAB, Crossing the Aisle. Shaun, we only have a few seconds, but I know you're just so giddy.
I'm giddy.
You're giddy, aren't you?
No,
you
I'm
can't
not.
wait, can you?
Yeah. What about our White House trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be huge.
Huge.
Anyway,
Absolutely huge. We'll
I'm
celebrate parental rights.
I'm also excited. We're going to do an election live show tomorrow night and break this all down during the election. So everybody get out there and vote.
We are. Everybody get out and vote tomorrow, and you can't complain if you don't vote. And we will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then.